She texted a picture of my car wrecked. Oops. You need to buy me a new one or we're done. I replied, okay. Then I sent the photo and her text to my insurance agent. Now she's begging for a lawyer because they're charging her with insurance fraud. I was at work and my phone buzzed. It was a picture from my girlfriend, Rebecca. My stomach just dropped. The photo was of my car. It's a 1969 Mustang, a real classic. I spent 3 years of my life restoring it with my uncle before he passed away. It wasn't just a car to me. It was the last real thing I had of him. In the picture, the whole front end was smashed into a concrete pillar in our apartment's parking garage. The grill was just gone. I couldn't even breathe for a second. Then the next text came in. She texted a picture of my car wrecked. Oops. You need to buy me a new one or we're done. I knew exactly what she meant. She didn't want a new Mustang. She wanted the brand new Lexus SUV we'd been fighting about for a month. She was holding my car hostage to get a new one. I just stared at the phone. All the grief I felt for the car just turned into this cold, quiet feeling. I typed back one word. Okay. Then I screenshotted the whole conversation, opened my email, and sent the photo and her text to my insurance agent. His name is Frank. He's handled my family's insurance forever and he'd been over to see the Mustang a bunch of times while I was working on it. He loved that car. The subject of the email was Claim Inquiry 1969 Mustang. I called him right after I sent it. Frank, you get my email? Yeah, kid. Opening it now, he said. I heard him clicking his mouse. Then there was just silence for a long time. I heard him mutter Jesus Christ under his breath. Is this a joke? He finally asked. His voice was low and angry. I wish it was Frank, I said. It's in the garage, level P2, spot 47. She has a key. Must have done it today. Frank eyed. It was the sound of a guy who has seen way too much stupid stuff in his life. All right, so here's the deal. I'm filing the claim, obviously, but this isn't going to be a normal claim because of the text message. This is going straight to our Special Investigations Unit, the SIU. These are the guys who handle fraud, arson, all the really bad stuff. That text she sent you. That's basically a written confession to vandalism and attempted extortion. The SIU guys live for this kind of thing. They're bulldogs. He told me what would happen next. An investigator would get the case. They'd want a statement from me. They'd send a whole forensic team out to the garage to look at the car and the pillar, check for prints, look at the pedals, everything. They'd pull all the security camera footage from the garage. Listen to me, Frank said, and his voice got really serious. Do not talk to her. Don't answer her texts. Don't answer her calls. Let the SIU do their thing, and you need to go stay somewhere else for a while. This is going to blow up, and you don't want to be nearby when it does. I told him I'd go to my parents' place since they were on a cruise. Goodman, he said. Keep your head down. I hung up. It felt weird. I hadn't yelled. I hadn't even really done anything. I just forwarded an email. And now a massive insurance company was about to go after my girlfriend. I went to my parents' house and the first thing I did was call my apartment building's property manager, a guy named Mr. Henderson. I kept my voice super calm and just said, "Hi, Mr. Henderson. I have a domestic situation and my partner Rebecca will be moving out. She's not on the lease, but she has a key. I need the locks changed tonight." He started going on about how there's a 48-hour notice policy. I cut him off. I understand, but she just did several thousand worth of damage in the parking garage. I'm worried she's going to come after the apartment next. That got his attention. He said he'd have the maintenance guy, Gus, meet me there in an hour. Gus came and changed the deadbolt. I got a bill for $150. Time-stamped at 7:32 p.m. I saved the PDF, another piece of paper for the file. Of course, Rebecca's text had already started. Where are you? Are you going to the Lexus dealer or what? Answer me. I just put my phone on silent. I woke up the next morning to a bunch of missed calls and a screaming voicemail. The key doesn't work. What did you do? You can't kick me out. I'll call the landlord. An hour later, Mr. Henderson called. He sounded super annoyed. I just got an earful from a Miss Walsh. He said she's saying you illegally evicted her. This was her angle. Try to use tenant rights she didn't have. Mr. Henderson, I said you have a copy of the lease. Section 4, subsection B, the guest policy. She's a guest and I'm uninviting her. I could hear him flipping papers. You are correct. He said she has no legal standing. I thought that would be the end of it, but no. A little later, my next-door neighbor, Mrs. Gable, called me. She's a sweet old lady. She sounded terrified. Dear, there's a woman screaming and banging on your door. She's been doing it for 10 minutes. I think she's trying to kick it down. I felt terrible that she had to deal with that. I told her I was so sorry and that I would handle it. I called the building security and told them there was someone trying to break down my door. 10 minutes after that, Mr. Henderson called me again. He was pissed. She wouldn't leave. We had to call the cops to get her off the property. She's been formally trespassed. If she comes back, she'll be arrested. I'm emailing you the notice. A minute later, a PDF popped up in my inbox. A formal no trespass order. Her attempt to bully her way back and got her a police escort out. After she was banned from the building, she went for our friends. My buddy Liam texted me a screenshot from our group chat, the crew. Rebecca had posted the picture of the Mustang. I'm so shaken up, you guys, she wrote. Some maniac in a truck hit me in the garage and just took off. The car is totaled. I tried to call him, but he's ignoring me. I think he's just mad about the car. He totally abandoned me. Of course, her best friend, Becca, jumped right in. OMG, that's horrible. He's such a monster. He only ever cared about that stupid car. She was playing the victim, and it was working. I knew I couldn't just jump in and say, nah. So, I started a separate group chat with just Liam and 2 other close friends, Mark and Jen. I called it the truth. All I did was post the screenshot I had taken of my phone, the one with the picture of the car and her text right under it. Oops. You need to buy me a new one or we're done. I added one sentence. It wasn't a hit and run, guys. It was blackmail. The replies came back instantly. Holy crap, dude. That's actually insane. I knew she was crazy. But Becca and Rebecca weren't done. 2 days later, Liam sent me another screenshot. It was a GoFundMe page Becca made. Help Rebecca recover from traumatic hit and run. They were asking for $10,000 for therapy and moving costs. They were literally trying to make money off this. I didn't say a word to any of them. I just forwarded the link to the GoFundMe to Maria Sanchez, the SIU investigator. I'd given her my official statement that morning. She was super sharp. Her email back was short and sweet. Thank you. This is now part of the investigation. Please be aware that soliciting funds under false pretenses can be considered wire fraud. We will handle this. The next day, the GoFundMe was gone. They had accidentally added another possible felony to the pile. That night, my phone rang with an unknown number. I put it on record and answered. It was her dad, Mr. Walsh. He's one of those rich guys who thinks he can fix anything with his checkbook. He started off all friendly. Son, sounds like there's been a little misunderstanding. Rebecca's pretty upset. She admits she got a little carried away. How about I cut you a check for the damages? Let's say 15 grand to make it go away. He really thought he could just buy me off. Mr. Walsh, I said, my voice totally flat. I appreciate it, but no. I can't stop this. It's a formal fraud investigation now. It's out of my hands. The case number is SIU 202344B7 if you want to have your lawyer look it up. Dead silence. The friendly act just evaporated. Fraud, he sputtered. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the text your daughter sent me where she admitted to wrecking my car and then tried to extort me, I said. And the fraudulent GoFundMe page. They're looking at all of it. Apparently, it's all pretty illegal. He started threatening me then. You're ruining my daughter's life. No, I said, and my voice got hard. Your daughter is doing that all on her own. I'm just not letting her take me down with her. I've recorded this call. Don't call me again. I hung up. I really thought that had to be the end of it. She was cornered, exposed, and being investigated. I figured she'd just retreat and deal with the mess she'd made. I was wrong. Her final move was a direct attack on my career. About 2 weeks later, I was in a big video meeting at work. My boss, David, starts texting me. "Call me. Emergency." I jumped off the call and dialed his number, my heart pounding. "There's a woman in the lobby," he said, his voice tight with stress. "Rebecca, she's screaming at the receptionist that you stole money from her and you've been stalking her. She's crying her eyes out. Security is coming, but it's a full-blown scene." My blood ran cold. I work at a small wealth management firm. Our clients are all high net worth individuals. Our reputation for stability and discretion is everything. A screaming woman in the lobby is the kind of thing that can get you fired. No questions asked. I drove to the office like a madman. By the time I got there, security had already removed her, but the damage was done. The entire office was silent and everyone was staring at me. I was called straight into the main conference room. My boss, David, was there along with our HR manager, Cynthia, and the firm's most senior partner, Mr. Abernathy. They looked like they were about to witness an execution. Mine. "Explain," Mr. Abernathy said. His voice was quiet, which was way scarier than if he'd been yelling. I took a deep breath. This was the moment I had been preparing for. I'd hoped I'd never need it, but I was glad I had it. I opened my briefcase and pulled out a slim, professionally bound folder. I had spent $100 at a print shop to make it look clean and official. I placed it on the polished table. 3 weeks ago, my now ex-girlfriend, Rebecca Walsh, intentionally destroyed my private property in an attempt to extort a vehicle from me. I began. I opened the folder. The first page was a high-resolution print of the photo she'd sent of the wrecked Mustang. She then sent this text message. The next page was the screenshot of our conversation. I didn't just tell them, I showed them. I walked them through everything, my voice calm and factual. I gave them the police report number I'd filed for vandalism. I showed them the time-stamped invoice for the emergency lock change. I showed them the formal no trespass order for my apartment building after she'd been removed by the police. I showed them the screenshots of her lies in the group chat, followed by the screenshot of the GoFundMe page. Finally, I gave them the SIU case number and the name and contact information for the lead investigator, Maria Sanchez. She is the subject of an active multi-account felony investigation for insurance fraud, attempted extortion, and potential wire fraud, I concluded, looking Mr. Abernathy directly in the eye. Her appearance here today was not a random act of a scorned lover. It was a calculated, desperate attempt to get me fired as retaliation for the legal consequences she is now facing. She is trying to destroy my career because her life is imploding. The room was dead silent. Mr. Abernathy, a man who could smell BS from a mile away, slowly picked up the printout of the text message. He read it, then read it again. He looked at Cynthia, the HR manager. "This is not a domestic issue," Cynthia said, her voice firm. "This is an external party with a documented history of malicious behavior attempting to harass one of our employees at his place of work. Based on this evidence, we have a duty to protect him and the firm." The relief that washed over me was so intense, my knees felt weak. They believed me. The evidence was too overwhelming to ignore. Mr. Abernathy slid the folder back to me. "Thank you for your thoroughness," he said. "Cynthia, have our corporate counsel draft a cease and desist letter and a criminal trespass warning for Miss Walsh. I want it sent via courier to her and her father today." He looked at me. "Go home for the day. We'll handle the internal messaging here." A month later, Frank called me one last time. "It's over," he said. The forensics team confirmed everything. They pulled the garage security footage. It shows her getting into the car, revving the engine for 30 seconds, and then driving it straight into the pillar. No ambiguity. The DA has the file. They're charging her with everything. It's not a matter of if, but when. The insurance company cut me a check. It felt hollow. It couldn't replace the hours I spent with my uncle. The smell of grease and paint, the pride of bringing something beautiful back to life. It was just money. Then 2 weeks ago, I got the call. It was Rebecca. I answered just to hear the final act. She was sobbing, a pathetic, broken sound. I got a letter from the district attorney, she cried. They're charging me with felonies. They said I could go to prison. I need a lawyer. She was babbling, incoherent. You have to help me. You have to call them. Tell them it was all a big joke, a mistake. Please, I'm begging you. The arrogance was gone. The entitlement was gone. It was just this terrified person on the other end of the line, a person who had finally run out of people to manipulate. Now she's begging for a lawyer because they're charging her with insurance fraud. I let her cry for a minute, listening to the sound of her world collapsing. Then I said, my voice completely empty. Rebecca, you should have thought of that before you sent the text. I hung up the phone. I blocked her number. Then I blocked her dad's number and Becca's.